Hey, what's up everyone? This is going to be my review of Season 1, Episode 7 of Titans entitled Asylum. It's a couple weeks late, but I'm catching up. And this episode, it was pretty good. It was solid. For Titan standards, I'm not gonna lie, it might be the weakest episode up until this point. This or the pilot, but I don't really like saying the pilot's weak because it had to set up everything, but honestly it could have been better, so I would put the pilot behind this episode and then probably this episode. Compared to the past few weeks, Doom Patrol Together and Jason Todd, it was kind of a disappointing episode, but it was still good. It was a good episode. So I do recommend seeing it. There's not too much non-spoilery I can say, except the plot revolves around an asylum, of course, hence the title. Raven's birth mother is supposedly there, and they're gonna go after her, looking for her, so yeah, from here on it's gonna be spoilers. If you haven't seen the episode, I recommend going to check it out. So the episode starts off with Raven talking to Adamson, and dude cuts his own neck open, and Raven heals him, so he basically tells Raven that's what she's meant to do. She's not meant to destroy the world, she's meant to heal it. And after this, Dick and Corey kind of interrogate him, and they find out about the asylum that Raven's birth mother is being held at. They tell Raven about it. Raven wants to go immediately, but Dick's like, we don't have a plan, we need to know, like, their patrol times and all that before we go. So he's not saying they're not going to go, he's just saying they need more information before they go. But Raven being a kid, of course, she just thinks Dick's being a jerk, I guess. And Beast Boy goes and talks to Raven after the whole kind of fight, not really, but Raven gets upset with all of them. And then Beast Boy and Raven run off to the asylum, get caught almost immediately, and not long after, Dick and Corey go chasing after them. They get to the asylum in the underground tunnel. They get caught almost immediately as well. So the whole team is captured now, and they're being subjected to different types of torture. Dick is tied up in a chair like the nuclear family had been before, and they inject him with something. I assume it's the same stuff that they injected the nuclear family with, but I don't know. I've had several comments in the past saying it could be something else, that they weren't turning him into a nuclear family android type thing, whatever, they brainwashing him with, that they weren't brainwashing him. And Corey, she's in this chamber, darkly lit chamber, and they're smart enough to let her burn herself out, so props to them for letting her do that. And Beast Boy's just caged up, and he's being, like, shocked and electrocuted by these guard scientists, doctors, whatever they are. And Raven's talking to Adamson, and later on in the episode she asks him where her birth mother is being kept, if she's really in the asylum. He does tell her she is indeed in the asylum, but doesn't tell her exactly where, and basically says, you'll do what we want, or your birth mother's gonna die. Something along that line, those lines. And this pisses Raven off, because he basically threatens her friend and all that. Adamson's talking about she can heal the world like she healed him, and she's like, or you can make the world better like you made me better, and she's like, I don't want you to be better, I take it back. And the ramifications of him cutting his throat, although she did heal him earlier, come back and his throat is cut open again, blood is gushing everywhere, and he dies. First thing Raven does after killing Adamson is she goes to find her birth mother, and she does indeed find her. And at first her birth mother doesn't believe that it's Rachel, but Rachel shows her this mark on her back which proves that it is her. So now she believes her, and then they go to save the team. First, Beast Boy. They find Beast Boy in the cage, they get him out, and then a scientist or whatever they are, I'm pretty sure they're scientists or something, he comes in telling Raven, what do you think you're doing, girl, getting on her and all that. Beast Boy's out of the cage, he turns into the tiger. Everyone keeps asking, is all he can turn into a tiger? I don't know if that's all he can turn into, or if that's all he wants to turn into at this point, or if he just turns into a tiger because they don't have a big enough budget to turn him into all these other animals, like an elephant, or they for sure don't have enough to turn him into a Tyrannosaurus or anything like that. So anyway, he turns into the tiger, and he begins to sick the scientist, and he just keeps going, he does not stop, and he does murder him. He eats him, he eats his heart, I believe, And then he transforms back and blood is all over his mouth, and he's just looking in disgust and disbelief at what he had done. And it's like he doesn't know who he is any longer, but this is a big point in his character's progression. And what I'm wondering is if maybe sometimes when he transforms, the beast side of him takes over. So he doesn't always have control of his beast side. And I don't know a ton about Beast Boy in the comics or anything, but I know that's not uncommon because in Justice League vs. Teen Titans, which is an animated movie from 2016, they're in hell or something and he's uncontrollably changing into all these creatures. So it's not uncommon for him to not have full control of his powers all the time. So then they go find Dick, and before I get to that, I gotta talk about something early in the episode, and that is the Robin stuff that happens, because it's very important, and it's probably the best part of the episode. So the main scientist doctor lady is talking to Dick, and basically he's fighting the medicine, it seems, and just isn't subjecting to it. So she tells the guy that she's with to up his dosage, and he's like, "You mean risk stopping his heart?" And she's like, "Yeah," and just walks off. So two guards or two whatever are sent in there to up his dosage, and they do, and he's fighting. He's in the Robin costume because the chick was like, "You can't deny who you really are," and Dick's like, "This isn't who I am." Anyway, they're in there. They do give him another dosage, and he begins to go in cardiac arrest, and once they go to give him CPR, he kicks both of them, begins to beat the crap out of them. So he's like playing possum. It was freaking awesome. I love this moment. And he threatens to snap the dude's neck if the doctor guy doesn't open the door, and he does open the door, and Dick's out there now. He's beginning to fall on walls and stuff. The dosage is getting to his head. And then he turns around and sees this kid in a hood, and it's his younger self, and he just gets nailed with a baseball bat. And then once he gets up, he's in the Robin costume, he looks over, he's in Wayne Manor, and you see what you saw in episode 3 of the envelope with Dick Grayson written on it. And then this ends up going to the Batcave, and he yells Bruce. We get a 6 shot of the Batmobile again, and young Dick Grayson just begins to beat the crap out of Robin, current Dick Grayson again, and telling him that he's been blaming everyone but himself. He blamed Zuko, he blamed Bruce, just blaming everyone but himself. Just continues to beat the crap out of him, and he's like, Robin was supposed to be the answer, Robin was supposed to help, Robin was supposed to fix everything. And that's basically it. So this was all in his head, and I mean, I thought it was cool. I liked seeing all that, like, himself come to the realization that what has been building up the entire season, he's not Robin. Robin was supposed to be the answer, but it wasn't. It's not who he really is. He can't be Robin anymore. But man, I wish that was real though, him just faking the cardiac arrest and then owning those guards. That would have been freaking awesome. Anyway, Raven, Beast Boy, and her mother, Raven's mother, are there to save Dick, and Raven gives a speech to Dick. Like, you promised not to leave me. And he fights it. Raven's like, you're the strongest person I know. And she's like, you promised. And he's like, yeah, I guess I did. And I love that moment. Dick is so strong, and it's on full display here. So then they go to get Corey, and I think it's here, or no, it was earlier. It was right before they cut to the hallucination stuff with Dick. But you see her getting cut open, and it's gross. I do not like that kind of stuff, but hey, and they find out Corey can regenerate and all that. So the rest of the team is there to save Corey. They do save her, and then they are starting to get out of this asylum, and they run into like a dozen guards, and Dick's like, I got this. And just takes something off the wall, a handle thing, I don't really know the name of it, but he begins to beat the crap out of these guards. He lays all dozen of them out or whatever, barely has a scratch on him, and then as they're leaving, he tells Corey to stay behind for a moment, and he's like, you hear that? And it's gas in the gas line, which was mentioned earlier, which is why Corey didn't use her powers earlier when she could have, because she would have killed literally everyone, including themselves. So this is a bit confusing because Dick's whole thing has been he wants to escape the darkness, he wants to escape Robin, but yet he wants to blow this asylum up when we know Raven's mother was there, so that could lead people to believe that there are other people there, innocent people there locked up, but I don't really know if there are other people because Raven's mother was, of course, connected to her, and this organization has been trying to get to her, and they were using her mother in order to get to her, so I don't know if they just have other inmates or patients there. I mean, they could, but I don't know, it didn't bother me that much, but I'm sure it bothered some people. But anyway, my thought process was, he's still letting the darkness come in, but after he says this is the last day, so I'm guessing this is the last that he's going to let the darkness get inside of him, because as we know, the Robin suit gets blown up, and Robin was his darkness, in a way, I guess. So, getting rid of Robin is getting rid of that darkness. So I kind of understood that, and the suit's burning, great symbolism, Dick just looking down at the suit, and I'm gonna miss that Robin suit so much. I just want some more Jason Todd. I want to see that Robin suit. It's so good. I'm ready for Nightwing though, so... But something I do want to know is how the suit got in there, because you would think that it was in the car, or the SUV, or whatever, the van that they have, and that clearly didn't get blown up because they had to drive away. So I'm not sure how the suit actually got in the asylum. But hey, whatever, I loved it. It was great. Great symbolism. And I am so ready for Dick to become Nightwing. So yeah, this was a great episode. So many important things happen in here. Great character development. Like, Beast Boy killed for the first time, so that's a very important moment in that character's progression. Also, Raven took the healing back from Addison, another very important moment. She killed someone. 2 members of the team that have killed people. Starfire, she's killed people, so nothing big, blowing up the whole thing. But Dick has gotten rid of Robin. Probably the biggest thing that happened in this episode, of course. So maybe he won't be as dark as he has been, not as brutal. He'll have more hope, have more optimism in people, I guess. And I just can't wait. I've already seen the 2 episodes after this, so I kind of know where it goes from here, but while I think this wasn't an amazing episode, it was still great, and very important things happened throughout the episode, so it's still an important episode. It impacts a season-long storyline a lot, especially since the Robin suit is no more, and Dick's no longer Robin, so probably the most important plot point in the entire season so far. Yeah, overall, enjoyed it. The pacing wasn't a problem to me. I think it could have been better, but there were very important character moments. They found Rachel's mother. That's something I forgot to mention that was very important in this episode. So, a lot of things that set up the future. Nightwing, Rachel's mother, which is setting up Trigon. The organization is, I guess, exposed. I don't really know what's going to happen with them. But yeah, with all that being said, I'm going to give the episode a 9.3 out of 10. That's the same scores I gave Hawk and Dove in Origins. I think it's actually better than Origins too, but I don't think it's better than Hawk and Dove, so I'm going to rescore some of these episodes when I do like the season overview. I'm not sure. I'll have to think about it. I'm going to rewatch the whole series the day after it ends. I'm going to binge watch it, see if it's better as a binge. Anyway, let me know what you thought about the episode down in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe if you're not already. I will see you guys sometime.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again.
Open the door, I'll break his neck. Do it now. Yeah.